Let's talk about some of the biggest mistakes that I have made and the biggest mistakes that I see other teachers making when it comes to substance use education, when it comes to that ATOD unit, ATOD being alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. So let's explore 5 mistakes that I see teachers, including myself, making when it comes to this substance use education, when it comes to talking about alcohol and other drugs, whether those drugs be prescription pills or nicotine, vaping, marijuana, whatever it is and whatever happens to come out after this video has been published. So the first thing I want to talk about is I see us so often framing the substance use, the drug use as a physical health issue and neglecting to appreciate the reality that it is an issue that is so much more than just related to the physical body. And if you look at this video I have here that goes over 4 core health needs that are motivating people to use substances or that are like the triggers behind using some different substances, you really see that if we want to authentically navigate this topic with students, we have to recognize that it is in many ways more of a social and emotional and mental health issue and a cultural health issue than actually being a physical issue, a physical health issue. So the second thing that I see happening is an oversimplification of the learning outcomes of our ATOD units. So for many ATOD units that I see online as I am looking at resources or seeing what people are doing on the Facebook groups and things like this, is oversimplification of what we want students to take from an ATOD unit. So often I see things like preventing underage drinking, or not using illegal substances, or really trying to help students understand the risk of a substance use disorder or an addiction, whatever language you're using in your classroom, rather than teaching students how to develop and enriching relationships with the substances that exist in their life. Now, by relationship, I don't mean how do we teach them how to use them. Rather, I mean, when I talk about a relationship, it's like, what are the attitudes and the thoughts and the conversations and the behaviors that a person has towards a different substance? And you can watch my video here to explore that. Because if we look at something like underage drinking, like, great, that's great. If you get a kid, you teach them in your class and they don't drink until they're of age, but then what happens when they're of age and they can legally drink and they start drinking and they haven't actually built any knowledge or skills to know how to do that or engage with the substance in a way that's going to enrich their well-being. So in thinking about this reality, I feel like it would be incredibly impactful if we shifted the actual learning outcomes and shifted what we want students to be able to do after they are done with an ATOD unit. And if you want to check out the Project School Wellness ATOD unit, you can see that the core focus of that is teaching students how they can build a relationship with the substances in their life so that they can move in the world where these substances exist in a way that's going to enrich their well-being, and it's going to be grounded in really embodied and empowering experiences. So the third mistake I see, and I'm so guilty of this, is basing teaching off of my understanding rather than creating space for students to guide the conversation and to put their understanding into the conversation. Because the reality is that I have no idea really what it is to be a teenager in this moment with the access to the media and the access to cultural perceptions that they have and the knowledge that they have where they are in their life. Sure, of course I have some perspective as an adult, but I'm not them and I don't really know what's going on in terms of ATOD for their actual reality. So when we create learning experiences, we need to create it in an open-ended way that really allows students to insert their reality into everything we're doing, right? So we can give them the structure, but they really need to be the ones guiding the conversation, and they need to be the ones really showing us, oh, this is how I use this skill in this situation. This is the knowledge, this is the reality, this is the cultural perception, this is actually what's happening, and this is how I can navigate it. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is that they are learning practical skills that they are going to actually use in their life, in this moment, right now, and it's going to actually be useful to them so that they can live this enriched and full life. And number 4, and I'm so guilty of this, and it's why I'm in the process of redesigning the Practical School Wellness Health Skills Toolkit and lesson plans, is using or teaching skill cues that are actually not authentically connected to students' lives at all. And I think one of the best examples of this is the DECIDE model. And again, totally guilty of using it, but I am in the process of changing it because that is health education, right? We evolve, we grow. But using something like the DECIDE model, that is, no one's gonna use the DECIDE model. Like when they're at a party and they're deciding if they're going to drink or not, or to take whatever substance is there, they're not gonna use it. Like it's not practical, it's not authentic. And so because it's not practical or authentic, it's not actually impacting their well-being. So we want to really be mindful of what are the decision-making processes and frameworks and tools. And I do have one that is in the Project School Wellness ATOD curriculum, and you can check it out here. I call it the ARAT, the ATOD Relationship Assessment Tool, and it's much more simplified and it's totally student guided. So we want to just be really mindful that we are equipping them with decision-making skills that they're going to actually genuinely use in their real life. Okay, the 5th mistake I see so often, and again, this is not just for the ATOD unit, this is for lots of units where teachers are making really fun and engaging learning experiences, but those fun and engaging learning experiences aren't actually impacting and equipping students in their daily life and how they manage their well-being. So an example of this could be something like a celebrity drug death project. Students might find that super fun and engaging, but if teachers are not intentionally connecting it to authentic skills that students are using in their real life, that project is kind of meaningless because is it actually impacting student behavior? Is it actually equipping them with the knowledge and the skills so that they can use when they encounter these substances in real life? And then also kind of connected to that is that we do fun and engaging projects, but maybe it's not actually connected to the substances that are in their own life, the substances that they're actually experiencing, the substances that they're needing to learn how to navigate. So again, we just want to make sure that we want things to be fun and engaging, but we need to make sure that it's really deeply, authentically connected to the life that students are living, and that it's equipping them with practical skills that they can actually use in their life in this moment. Now this is a bit of a bonus, and it's not necessarily only connected to ATOD, but I definitely think ATOD is one of those units where it is very relevant. But a mistake that I don't even know that I would call it a mistake, more something that I see that I think that if teachers did this more often, that it would enrich the learning experience, is really taking time to self-reflect about our own relationship with the health issue. So for this video, like really understanding what is my relationship with ATOD? What substances are in my life? What are the cultural perceptions? What are my behaviors, my attitudes, my thoughts, and all of those things, and using some of those tools that we are wanting students to explore. And just because the more awareness we have, the more authentic our learning experiences can be, the more real our conversations can be, and it's just gonna enrich the learning experience. And I think like body image, I think is also deeply, similar. I think that's something that a lot of us deal with on a regular basis. Or something like social media, we are so impacted by it, but sometimes we are not maybe taking the time to recognize and appreciate how deeply we're impacted by these things. And I just think the more that we are being real and honest with ourselves, the more real and honest our learning experiences are going to be. Hey, real quick, be sure to check out the Project School Wellness ATOD curriculum. Really, we try to focus on how do we develop this relationship with ATOD and really be aware of the substances in our life and learn how to navigate them in an embodied and enriching way. All right, so those are some common mistakes that I see myself making, that I see other health teachers making, and I just hope to start a conversation so that we can all grow in our ability to teach ATOD in a way that is truly impacting student well-being. If you have some thoughts, drop it in the comments, because we're all here to learn from each other, and we're all trying to improve our students' lives in any way that we can.